Hey, what's up, y'all? I want to speak to this right quick. So I read an article on CNN discussing how a lot of CCM artists, that's contemporary Christian music artists, white artists who sing Christian music, were either supportive of Trump or reluctant to criticize him because they see themselves as, Christians, not politicians. And they kind of were touting these talking points as to why they weren't critical of him. I think it has more to do with the fact that they don't want to affect their revenue, or they actually do support him, which is deeply problematic. Let me say this. The Dove Awards, for many people, for those who don't know, the Dove Awards is a part of the Gospel Music Association as an award show that happens that is inclusive of Christian music and gospel music. The awards happened recently, and my friend Kirk Franklin, I don't want to quote him, but it was something along the lines of praying for Tatiana Jefferson, the young lady who was killed by the officer in Fort Worth, Texas, praying for the police officer, his family, and the whole nine. That was edited out of the show. When Kirk made a speech a couple of years ago, speaking to kind of issues about police brutality and things that are affecting Black people, it was edited out of the show. Here's my point, right? And I think that as a Black person who has made his career singing gospel music, I'm deeply offended by these positions of these CCM artists, and not surprised at the same time. Because I think that with Trump having the support of 70+% of folks who identify as white evangelicals, inclusive in that group is going to be white CCM artists. So I don't know who they are. I don't know many of them personally. Haven't met them personally. But what I will say is you should find the article on CNN. Just Google it. Or follow it's on my Twitter feed. It's deeply troubling. And so I do think that this notion that we must all come together, that we all, if we're Christian, we all believe the same thing, want the same thing, think about the same things, is false. I think a lot of those people are racist, or perpetuate racist ideas, or are complicit when they see racist things happen, and that they do not espouse the ideas in my mind of what Christianity is and what it looks like. I think a lot of them are racist, and that's masquerading as Christianity. But I don't think that you can really be a Christian and not care about all people, especially marginalized folks who look like me. So if there are things happening to people in the country, people in the world, whom you say you care about and whom you want to, offer Christ to, then how are you silent on these things? How are you supporting somebody, i.e. Trump, who is a racist, who is a sexist, who is a misogynist, who is, counterintuitive to everything that will be logical and intelligent about Christianity? I don't go to these awards. For those who want to go, enjoy, have a good time. I just think I am at the point in my life and in my career where I am not interested in sitting at the table or singing and dancing for folks who don't care about my life and the things that really affect me and people who look like me, right? I'm not doing that anymore because I don't have to. I really don't have to. So if there are people, and there are some, to be clear, there are some white people, some white CCM artists who are not that, who will speak out, who will stand up. Kudos to those people. We need more of you, and we need those who do have that mentality to speak up about it, to be honest about it. For the rest of them, I couldn't care less. I also think that, and I don't mean to step on anybody's toes, but, I also think that we have for too long aspired to assimilate to what they do, right? And I mean that in terms of our musical expression. And this is no diss against people who do worship music and praise and worship music. I think there is an iteration of that is specific to Black folks that sounds like us. But I also think it's very dangerous to get to the place where that's all that we're doing, or all that we think that is good, or all that we think that is God, because that's not really our creation, and it doesn't really tell our story. And that's the challenge I have with some of it. So I think it's important to have these conversations. I'm tired of people going to these events and being offended by what is done, what is said. Kirk is my friend, is my brother. I talk to him about this offline, and I just say, stop going. Like, if you don't go, then you won't be offended because they won't edit out stuff that we care about. That to me shows the intent the real kind of feelings behind an organization, an institution, and what they really care about. They don't care, so stop going.